Okay, it's May 16th, 2022, Monday. I've gone, I noticed on that I was going to, all right, I've gone crazy, as usual, but, to the sense where it's like, fuck you people? That's not crazy at all. That's just telling you exactly what you need to hear. Fuck off. Like this lady who keeps leaving me voicemails, harassing voicemails. She sounds so stupid. She sounds so stupid. So fucking dumb. And so just special needs. So I have to give her the benefit of the doubt and knowing that she's mentally ill. And obviously she suffers from some type of retardation. And she leaves these voicemails. And they talk about... and I don't save them anymore because they're nonsense, and I've heard like too many different, there were a few different people that were trying to leave messages here and there from blocked numbers. I don't give a shit. They're not coming through, just so you know. The first few words on the transcription, when I try to delete it, I read it through a little bit, knowing that you're retarded, knowing that you have nothing to say but, you know, slanderous comments. And you try to go on there and you make videos, all these people, they're fucking nonsense, just trolls. Trolls have no life. Trolls have no existence. So instead of putting efforts into themselves, they place it into hurting and harassing other people, which is a clear sign of mental instability. And that's why they're upset, because I display a type of mental instability that is helpful and not harmful. And then theirs is actually very detrimental to others. And that's why they hate me. That's why they're jealous. That's why they envy people. That's why they hate themselves. So they need to, you know, lash out at others because of their self-hatred. So, and that's sad. I feel very bad for you. Like, I feel so sad that you're crazy. But then she was going on about, you didn't meet a lady with dogs and a fucking blah, blah. And I was like, girl, there's cameras that prove that. Like, that lady knows. Her name's Nicole. Like, are you okay? Calm down. Go take a nap or something. Go take a dookie and then wash your ass. Because that's what you need. You need to obviously cycle through whatever toxins are already in your body, contaminated by whatever you're eating and consuming, and whatever you're around too many electronics, obviously, and you're getting too many, you know, electrical waves, frequencies that are messing with your brain. And I try to tell people that, like, people don't believe me. And I'm like, I've been there, I've done that. I know exactly what it's like. That's why I'm avoidant. I don't really like that I have my phone on me at all times. I don't like that the car is electrical that I drive. You know, at any moment, that stuff could get fried, or they could tamper with it. Interesting. And so I'm just like, whatever. These things, they're not safe. They're not entirely safe. The same thing with any kind of information, any numbers. And that's why I disclose numbers like that, because if that's how you're going to treat us, here you go. I'll snip my price tag off and I'll hand you back those numbers that I'm worth. You can have that. You know, I'm already discarded trash apparently. So that's how it is. And because nobody's offering to help me, they just want to hurt me. So instead of actually stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, we did wrong. We didn't treat this individual as an individual. We didn't see her as a suffering woman. We saw her as a deviant because we were listening to a bunch of manipulative narcissists, and that's how it was. So I'm just done. I that's how I snap. I'm just like, whatever, you know, I'm going to offer you all the information, snip off price tags and offer you those digits back. And that's how it is. I'm not a value. I'm not a fucking value meal here. Okay. I'm a fucking 5-star meal. So if you're not going to pay for it, if you're not going to sit there and offer that into me, well, then I'm sorry, it's gone to waste, and you don't deserve any of it. You deserve to starve. That's how it is. So, or you deserve to go without, or to be unclothed in that way. So I'm not gonna offer anyone my love unless they offer me those digits, apparently, that I'm valued. That's how it is. Those numbers, those numerical value that we all have upon our, you know, on our lives. Especially because it depends on our classification, our race, all these things, these different ways of segregating and persecuting us, discriminating, all that stuff, you know. You know how it is. Everyone knows how it is if they're in the lower class system and have been fucked with by the upper class, you know, the upperclassmen. So, I'm done with that. That's why I don't fucking care. You guys can leave all the voicemails you want. You can do whatever you want. You can try to touch me, but I bet I will fucking snap and bite you back. Like this tiny little dog I met this morning when I was going into the gym to change up. It was this big. She was fully grown, and she was just 2 years old, and she was a little chihuahua, and her little bug eyes were pointing outward, so she was cross-eyed, you know, and it was the cutest little thing. This man was walking her, this young man, around my age, I guess, you know, and I went up to him, and I was like, well, I asked him, I said, is she friendly? He's like, not really. I was like, oh, can I see anyway? So I went up to her, and she sniffed me. She was okay with me. We had an exciting moment, and she was only this big, and I tried to pet her chest a little bit with my fingers, you know, because she was just so tiny. And then she was like, rrr. And like, no, because she has her boundaries, and I understand it's little dog syndrome because she's smaller than most dogs, or she was, you know, well, she is obviously still alive. But yeah, so she was smaller than most dogs, so she has that complex where she feels like she has to protect herself more because everybody is trying to pick her up because she's very, you know, unnerved because she doesn't have those, you know, it's just how it is. And then she was unnerved. But when he went and picked her up, because he said, well, you have to get used to her, she had to stay some time with her and whatever, and he said, I wish I had a treat, you know, so you could give her a treat. And I was like, oh, it's okay. So I let her sniff my hands after he picked her up, and she snipped at me. I was like, okay. Like, but I told her, I was like, it's okay. Like, I told him, I said, I used to breed poodles, I know what it's like, and, you know, she's just very defensive because it's her boundaries, and she, you know, I don't know her, and I understand. So she didn't break the skin or anything, but she thought she was doing a good job. Like, she thought she was letting me know, and I was like, little one, I'm not here to hurt you. But she didn't have enough time to recognize that. It was only like a couple minute conversation, so I'm sure, and she didn't bite hard enough. She knew it was just a warning to me, and that's what most animals are like. They're like, I'm still kind of, you know, the people have harassed me, and I'm sure she has little kids and everything wanting to touch her all the time, or, you know, and other dogs as well intimidating her because she was so itty bitty. So that was so cute. I loved that very much. And then I got showered up and everything. Last night, in the middle of the night, it rained. Well, when it rained, I had to roll up the windows, and I had to use the restroom, but I didn't want to go inside because it was pouring rain. So I tried to use those diapers, and I ended up peeing all over myself in that sense of like on my shorts, and, you know, using these diapers to try to fill up. I filled up 2 diapers, and what I did was I just ripped them open and like slid them, and then was trying my best to just sort of hold it and like drain, you know, my urine slowly as I was holding the diaper so I could absorb it all. And I still got a little bit on the sheet back there, so I'm like, oh great, now I gotta wash that and sanitize all that. And it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, I know it has to happen, and that's why, you know, my daughter never had filthy bedding or clothing or anything like that. I can't say the same for the people that have talked back to me and tried to slander me. They don't treat their kids like that. They do not maintain their children, just like the people that say that Adriana Herrera Collins is a decent mother when she feeds her children trash. She doesn't care about their overall health and well-being, and she doesn't care if they end up with cancer or any kind of, you know, mental issues due to the contaminants in these foods. So, and neither does my ex-husband, but he's a pedophile, so I can't trust anything he fucking says anything. Whatever you presume is okay, because I know the truth, and God knows the truth, and God knows that these people were messing with me, and that's why they're going to get their karma. So that's the sad part. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I wish that people would have just played the role properly, understood that we were in it to win it, and we were, you know, supposed to be considerate toward one another and a little bit more, what is the word? Like compromise more, in that sense of being able to, you know, compromise in any way of our arguments and whatnot. Instead, it got this out of hand. And now I offer her back to God, you know, my daughter, and all these price tags and all these numbers and all these locations that have been actually extremely traumatic for me. And that's why I disclosed like 205 Saby Street in Hot Springs, because I was physically assaulted there, and yet I wasn't given the justice that I deserved. And if I would have gotten justice in that time, none of this would have happened. If people would have done their jobs properly, none of this would have happened to me. So that's why I think that it's like, it was a tiny little spider. I had to flick him off. He's okay though. She is okay. Anyway, but yeah, so when I ended up was driving into a parking lot right now, and I waited and waited and waited, and then there was enough space for me to pull into the parking lot. But of course, this is the South in Arkansas, so dumbass people. This man had plenty of room. There was plenty of room where I was pulling into the parking lot. Oh, but he had to lay on his horn in a big ass truck. And what did I do? Slam on my fucking brakes. Because I would rather have a fucking problem, because you have a problem with me not even doing anything wrong, but then I'll cause a collision, because that's exactly what my mental state is. You have no idea what I'm going through. You don't even realize that I was being safe and precautious, and you laid your horn down on me to think that you're right, that you had the right of way in that way. No, you should have slowed down. You were speeding over a hill. And also too, to slam on your brakes, you're gonna get your fucking karma. Don't fucking do that shit to me. Don't fucking do that shit to other people. I'm sick and tired of it. So, and people said something about doxing just now. I will continue to dox, if that's what you believe that's what it is. And I don't care. I didn't look up the definition fully. So fuck it. If that's what you consider doxing, oh well, I'm disabled. I'm a disabled citizen due to mental illness. So I can't help it. I'm telling everybody the truth about all this stuff. I can't help that it's all just lined up, and it's going to be written down in a novel and placed out there so that people can know what types of people they're actually dealing with. So, yeah. I think I squished her. There was like another one. Somebody must have laid eggs in my car. A spider. Oh well. Oh well. Hopefully they're black widows. So, but yeah, they kind of look like tiny little black widows, babies. That would be nice. If I died that way, I would be so fucking blessed. I seriously would. So, like, people think they're just so, what is the word? Righteous in that way. They just think that they own everything. They just think that they're number one and they rule everything because they own certain things, because their price tag is a certain amount. That's hilarious. We're human beings. You can't put a price tag on that stuff. Oh, yet the government does, because they charge for a shit ton for medical needs and medical care, which, like, here's this letter from LabCorp. And it's like, why? Why are you going to charge me this stuff? Why are you going to charge me for the ultrasound when it should have been covered underneath all of my insurances? Why are you going to charge me extra? Why? Why even offer the ultrasounds then if you're going to place me in a deficit financially over the child that I didn't ask for, that God blessed me with? And God. Okay, God did. Yeah. We'll just say it was that. And it was a blessing in disguise, because I was traumatized after the fact and I shouldn't be pregnant right now. Yet I am. So here it is, and that's how it is. And if there is no father to the baby, we've already disclosed what I'm going to end up having to do. Something's got to disappear. And it sure as fuck ain't going to be me. And also, too, if I end up in prison, that'll be a fucking rightful cause for it now. There'll be a reason to put me behind fucking bars, instead of the nonsense where you took away my constitutional rights and put me behind bars for harassing communications, for trespassing, for all these random nonsense, disorderly conduct. What is the other one that was on there? That was obstructing government justice. Okay, that was when I got placed in jail because I told the bailiff, okay, and he ripped my daughter out of my arms like a fucking deviant. And it's like, okay, you'll get your fucking karma, bitch. You all will. And that's why I talk to you that way, because you don't deserve my respect. You don't deserve God's respect. And you don't deserve any privileges whatsoever, apparently, because you don't know how to deal with your job, and you don't know how to deal with others in a compassionate way or a considerate way. So you're fucking trash, all of you. And I disclose this openly and honestly because I can, because I want to, because fuck you people. That's how it is. Fuck the federal government if that's what they think they're going to do, is put these people in a position to where that they can rule over other people's lives with their mental illnesses. And these people are truly deranged in their higher positions, in their authoritative positions. And you're going to tell me I'm fucking crazy? I'm not the one going around putting people in jail for nonsense. I'm not the one charging people with crimes they didn't commit. I'm pretty sure that's the people in your judicial systems here. They need to be called out for all their privileges that they have behind closed doors, and yet they want to steal from others. They don't want us to have privileges because they mistook all the information. They were listening to a bunch of liars and manipulators. So anyway, I just had some sushi because I was hungry as I was passing through different areas, of course, because I always do, because I'm not a liar. And I don't lie. I don't need to lie about the people that I disclose. I don't need to lie about the places I've been. I know everything's on camera. I know that places me in a vulnerable position to disclose all of my information and the information of these individuals, and it places them in a very vulnerable state as well. And that's the point. That is exactly the point, because I'm disabled. I'm mentally ill. I don't know any better. I just don't know any better. So if I feel like it's the truth and I want to disclose just the truth, then why not? Why can't I do that? Why can't I tell the truth all the time? Oh, because you let society get overrun with all these fucking deviants and all these perverts that lie and gaslight everyone. And you presumed I was gaslighting. You presumed I was manipulating. Do you see that anymore? Do you? I didn't fucking think so. So, but yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. It's the start of the week, so it's Monday. I love everyone very much. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who have trespassed against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I have to protect myself from all of you deviants, especially the people that are in these positions to where they can harm me still, because they want to try to get me on criminal this, criminal that. That's what I see. So, you know, like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what went wrong, because I was just trying to be a wholesome individual, like a wholesome, good-hearted, kind-hearted, doing my best for society, you know, good Samaritan. But I guess that didn't pan out, did it? So now I'm an anarchist. So that's interesting. Okay, whatever, whatevs. You still can't get me on anything because it's my freedom of speech. So regardless of what you say about doxing, I'm pretty sure other people are doxing me. And there's the loop right there. There's the loop. It's going around. So you get what you put out there. You get what you dish out. And that's why I know these people want me to talk about this stuff. I'm not going to disclose people's information that I care about, which is all these strangers and everything that you know, I'm not going to sit there and toss them under the bus for any reason, or, you know, toss them into the limelight in that way if they don't want that. No, these are the individuals that have abused me. There's a difference. These are the criminals, and not my daughter, of course. But since I don't know she exists anymore, I don't know. I haven't seen her for 6 years. I had her when she was a baby, and then she was like this big, and then now I don't know. I have no idea. Mommy doesn't know anymore. Mommy went crazy, and Mommy doesn't know. She just wants to offer you back to God because she remembers having you. She remembers titty feeding you. She remembers all these things. Mommy does. But, you know, everyone said I was crazy. I didn't deserve you. And that I couldn't take care of you. In actuality, I could totally take care of you. I just need the financial support because I may be crazy and not want to work. But who wants to work in this day and age when everybody's corrupt? And money is corrupt. Just seeking it is a corrupt state of mind. It's a state of greed. And I don't want to be in that state. I just let money flow in and out of me in that way. What's the problem? There shouldn't be a problem. Give me money. give me the things I need to survive and give me my daughter and also my dogs, because that would actually be really, really beneficial to my healing. It would be really beneficial to this whole story that, oh my God, she's done right her whole fucking life. She's just spoken out against all these deviants and all these pedophiles and all these perverts, and yet she keeps getting abused. Until one day, God blessed her with everything back. And then some. So yeah, and I don't know why I have to deal with the nonsense of like a rapist and all that. I mean, it would have been way different had we had an actual relationship and been together, even if for a few days as dating. We weren't dating. We didn't date. I didn't consent to doing that. Even I know I've done terrible things of one night stands here and there, but I always made sure I had protection. And that was like the plan B for me. And I was the one that put out for it because it was my duty. If I was the one seeking sex, I wasn't seeking sex. It was not my obligation. It still isn't my obligation. I still stand by that it's not the woman's obligation. In this day and age, we need to realize, regardless if the women carry the children, it's the men and their desires that force it upon us. And we can't do anything about it. So, all these thoughts in my head, why? Jumbled up for no reason. I don't know why. I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm Leticia. I don't know. I just don't know. Time to get moving though, because I've already sat and spent 20 minutes with you people and then some, because then I have to upload these things and all this and that. So yeah, we'll see what kind of mischief I get into today. I got notice that my mail had came in, my other mail, and I was like, it said that the check was in. So I don't know if I'll have the time to go and get it right now, but I might just go and run in through the area and then run out and spread my toxicity, my energy into the town as I'm driving around. You know, the things that I do to make sure everybody else is punished for their maltreatment of others, because that's what God wants. God wants us to speak out against these deviants, including the people in authoritative positions. So, because they shouldn't be in them. They shouldn't be there. Like that officer that sexually assaulted me, that forced me into giving him fellatio. Like the orderlies at the psychiatric hospital that forced me to touch myself in front of them. Yeah, these things happened. These all happened, and that's why mommy is crazy now. That's why mommy doesn't take any medication, because she knows better. And that's why mommy is taking her time and being patient and kind with everyone, because they need to get their shit together, because she needs to be compensated. And so that she can take care of her babies, because they weren't something she necessarily wanted, but she is a great mom and she won't ever not be. So regardless of what people say, it's dependent on what they do in conjunction with what they say. So yeah, you can go ahead and dox me all you want and do all your bullshit toward me, and you look like fools for doing it. And that's why I share these videos. That's because I prove what true mental illness is. And that's funny, because you're getting it from a woman that has been classified as disabled for her mental issues. And yet she calls out the truth. And all of this stuff can be tracked and traced. Every single facet of the things that I have disclosed. So, yeah, I love you very much. Have a good day. Leticia Collins Servin. Love you. Bye-bye.